The Winter's Tale. By William Shakespeare. Once upon a time, in the faraway kingdom of Sicilia, there lived two kings who were the best of friends. King Leontes of Sicilia and King Polixenes of Bohemia had been inseparable since they were young. The story begins with Polixenes visiting Leontes and his queen, the kind and beautiful Hermione. They've been enjoying each other's company for months, but now Polixenes feels it's time to return to his own kingdom. Leontes begs him to stay longer, but Polixenes insists he must go. Then, Queen Hermione steps in. With her gentle words and warm smile, she convinces Polixenes to stay a little longer. And that's when it happens. Leontes begins to feel a dark suspicion creeping into his mind. Why did Hermione succeed where I failed, he wonders. Could there be something more between her and Polixenes? Leontes' thoughts spiral out of control. He becomes convinced that Hermione and Polixenes are betraying him, and that the child Hermione is carrying is not his own. His jealousy grows like a storm, clouding his judgment and turning his heart to ice. He confides in his most trusted advisor, Camillo, and orders him to poison Polixenes. But Camillo is a good man, and he knows the king is wrong. Torn between loyalty and morality, Camillo warns Polixenes instead. Together, they flee Sicilia in the dead of night, leaving Leontes even more enraged. Meanwhile, Hermione is unaware of the storm brewing in her husband's heart. She's happy, spending time with her young son, Prince Mamilius, and preparing for the arrival of her new baby. But little does she know, her world is about to shatter. Leontes' jealousy has taken full hold of him. He accuses Hermione of treason and throws her into prison, despite the protests of his court. The once happy kingdom of Sicilia is now a place of suspicion and fear. The storm in King Leontes' heart rages on. Queen Hermione, now imprisoned, gives birth to a beautiful baby girl. But instead of joy, Leontes feels only anger. He refuses to believe the child is his and orders his loyal servant, Antigonus, to take the baby far away and abandon her in some remote place. Hermione, weak and heartbroken, pleads her innocence. She loves her children dearly and cannot understand why her husband has turned against her. Meanwhile, their young son, Prince Mamilius, is deeply affected by his mother's suffering. His health begins to fade, as if the sadness of the kingdom has touched his very soul. Leontes, blinded by his rage, puts Hermione on trial for treason. The entire court is in shock. Hermione defends herself with grace and dignity. She even asks the oracle to speak the truth. But before the oracle's message arrives, tragedy strikes. News comes that Prince Mamilius has died, overcome by grief. The kingdom mourns, and even Leontes is shaken. Then, the oracle's message is revealed: Hermione is innocent. Leontes is a jealous tyrant. The king shall have no heir until the lost child is found. Leontes finally realizes the terrible mistake he has made. But it's too late. Hermione collapses, and word spreads that she, too, has died. Overwhelmed with guilt and grief, Leontes vows to spend the rest of his life in mourning. And what of the baby girl? Antigonus takes her to the faraway land of Bohemia, where he leaves her on a lonely shore. As he departs, he is chased by a bear, yes, a bear, and meets a tragic end. But the baby is found by a kind shepherd and his son, who decide to raise her as their own. And so, the kingdom of Sicilia is left in ruins, while in Bohemia, a new hope begins to grow. 16 years have passed since the tragic events in Sicilia. The kingdom remains shrouded in sorrow, but far away in Bohemia, a new chapter begins. The baby girl abandoned on the shores of Bohemia has grown into a beautiful young woman named Perdita. Raised by a kind shepherd and his son, she is as radiant as a spring flower, though she knows nothing of her royal heritage. Meanwhile, Prince Florizel, the son of King Polixenes, has fallen deeply in love with Perdita. They meet in secret, for Polixenes would never approve of his son marrying a shepherd's daughter. But their love is pure and true, and they dream of a future together. Back in Sicilia, King Leontes remains in mourning. haunted by the mistakes of his past. His kingdom is a shadow of its former self, and he longs for forgiveness. But in Bohemia, trouble is brewing. Polixenes discovers his son's love for Perdita and is furious. In the lively countryside of Bohemia, a grand sheep-shearing festival is underway. Perdita is now a young woman, radiating beauty and grace. Prince Florizel, disguised as a shepherd, is by her side, and their love shines brighter than the summer sun. But not everyone is celebrating. King Polixenes, still angry about his son's love for Perdita, arrives in disguise to confront them. When he reveals himself, he threatens to disown Florizel and punish Perdita and her family. Determined to be together, Florizel and Perdita decide to flee to Sicilia. With the help of the mischievous Autolycus, they set off on their journey. Back in Sicilia, King Leontes is still consumed by grief. But little does he know, his lost daughter is returning to him, bringing with her the hope of redemption and new beginnings. Florizel and Perdita arrive, seeking refuge. At first, Leontes is overjoyed to see Florizel, the son of his old friend Polixenes. But when he learns of Florizel's love for Perdita, he is struck by her resemblance to his late wife, Hermione. Meanwhile, the shepherd and his son arrive with proof of Perdita's true identity, the royal robe she was found in as a baby. The truth is revealed, Perdita is Leontes' long-lost daughter. The kingdom rejoices, and Leontes is overcome with joy and remorse. But the story isn't over yet. Paulina, Hermione's loyal friend, invites Leontes to see a statue of Hermione, one so lifelike it seems to breathe. As they gather around it, something miraculous happens, the statue comes to life. Hermione, who has been in hiding all these years, steps down and embraces her family. The kingdom is restored, and love and forgiveness triumph over jealousy and despair. Florizel and Perdita are united, and Leontes and Polixenes reconcile, their friendship stronger than ever. And so, the winter's tale ends with a message of hope, redemption, and the power of love to heal even the deepest wounds. A story that began in winter ends in the warmth of spring, reminding us that even in the darkest times, there is always light. Thank you for watching this heartwarming tale. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Until next time, keep believing in the power of love and second chances.